Hello duelists, the regular season for Edison War League has finished. Somehow, Team X is snuck into the playoffs, baby. Well, we're in the play-in game, which is basically an Iron Man, which is a 3v3. Each team gets 3 players, A, B, and C. A plays A, and if this person wins, then they go to person B. If this person wins and they beat A, then the two Bs play each other. If this person wins, then this person plays this person, and then this person wins, this person beats this person, and then this team wins. Yeah, a lot had to go right in that final week because I got 2-0'd. Somehow it all did. And that was the first time I got 2-0'd all season. Of course, it comes right after I'm talking about my locals. Oh, I didn't lose a single game last week. Wow, my frog deck. Oh, wow, look at me. And then I get packed up by that hero frog player who, I will say, we spoke a lot after the match. Good player. I knew I had my work cut out for me, and I said this half jokingly, but it turned out to be true. My videos are starting to catch on because the words go around of what I'm doing and how I prepare for my opponents. And he knew that I was going to go scissors based off the RPS studying. So shout out to my opponent for being on top of that. So if I play in this or if we make it into the regular playoffs in any game that I partake in, it's going to have to be a next level randomization for RPS. So that's the last time that's going to happen. Anyway, so here we are. Congrats to all the teams that made in. Bongo Boys, Bucks, Twilight Trill, DDD. Bongo Boys, I believe that is James Ark's team, and Phil is on there. We could check that. Let's see. Diamond Dogs, Bongo Boys, James Ark, Smoker, Matt K, Phil, Indica, Lidio. Yeah, this is a good team. You got to expect it out of this team, right? Bucks, Twilight Trill, and DDD also got in. Bucks, Twilight Trill. Bucks, yeah, this is a pretty stacked team, right? We got 10-foot. Diego, Draw, yeah, ×2. Gospod and Pina. Twilight Trill and DDD. Twilight Trill. Yeah, this is a pretty stacked team, too. Yeah, all these teams, I mean, there are a lot of good rosters, but it seems like the ones that you would look at and say, okay, these guys can get down. No surprise that they ended up doing just that. DDD. Yep. Ice Queen, ShamWow, Pizza, Sultai, Purple Drunk. Wow. Don't Copy, Eris, and Troop. Yeah, this is a pretty stacked team, too. Alright, so as far as the honest conference goes, couple 7-5s didn't get in. That's unfortunate. You know, best of luck to all these teams. Anyone who decides to participate next year. It's tough. I mean, I think, you know, these are solid 4 teams, and I'm not super surprised that they did what they had to do. As we move down to the Kalut Conference, we see Ring of Destruction. I think they probably have the most eyes on them, and they did not disappoint. A 50-game differential. They finished 10-2 with the best record of the entire league. Elite Four, Get Rugged, Fuse, and I'm not 100% sure how this is going to get played out. I know we are playing Fuse, and it looks like DDD is playing Ultra Instinct, but then that still leaves a 3rd spot for someone to play. I'm not 100% sure how this is all going down. I'm not super worried about that. Oh, maybe it's Bucks and Bongo Boys? No, they're already in. I don't understand this. Anyway, Ring, Elite Four, Get Rugged. I mean, this look at this squad, right? I mean, if you don't know this squad, then you haven't been playing Edison format too long, right? I mean, yeah, this is a crazy team. Crazy team. Elite Four also. Moxies, Ivan, Ghost, Fancy Marcus, LeBounty, Duck Tree. I mean, this team is just like super stacked as well. Crazy team, and I'm not surprised at all that they both went 9-3. Get Rugged and Fuse. This is also a solid roster for a team. Very solid. Not surprised that they did as well as they did. I believe Get Rugged is the next one. Get Rugged, Ultra Instinct, and Team X. Get Rugged. Yeah, look at this squad, too. Yeah, no surprise here, right? I mean, Tegalik, one of the top performers. I think he came in 2nd. A lot of recognizable names on this list. A lot of our BET toppers and such. So not, super surprising for the teams that top. Recognizable names on here as well. Mayberry ended up he was undefeated for a long time. I think he finished X1 if I'm not mistaken, or X2, and got 8th place. So congrats to all the teams that got in. Ultra Insync, I think that's what we're just looking at, right? Alright, so this is... No, we're playing against Fuse, if I'm not... This is... what a mess kind of video this is, right? Yeah, we're playing against Fuse. So, where Fuse at? Yep, we played them once already this season. Had to play against MMF. I think this is week like 4 or 5. But happy to scraggle our way in, and in that Iron Man. Yeah, I'm not going to say too much. I'm not, I'd rather keep who's playing in the order and all the decks under wraps and everything until that's done. And then as we proceed through the playoffs in the 6v6 Iron Man format, we will see just how I decide to release the content as we're going, because now we're at the nitty-gritty and I don't really want to give too much information, but hopefully we could win this Iron Man. I have a lot of faith in the team. I feel like we're tighter than ever now, and yeah, so big congratulations to everyone who got in. Again, a lot of teams tried very hard and made it very close, and I think we got very lucky. I think we underperformed, and I'm a little disappointed with going 7-5, but somehow we squeaked in, so that's good for us. And if we didn't, I wouldn't really be surprised, because I think there was a lot of talent amongst the league, and as you could see here, a couple 7-5s. Our buddies Crow's Nest didn't get in, but somehow we did. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe there's something I'm missing, but yeah. Good job to everyone that played, and yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. So, yeah, here are the individual ratings. I wanted to cover that as well. Yep, all that's covered. All that's good. So, yeah, Ivan Rosito, 11-1 off Elite Four. Raikoko, 11-1 off Ring. And Tegalik, 11-1 off of Get Rugged. I mean, 11-1. That's pretty damn good. I tip my hat to you guys. That is very, very impressive. You guys are definitely the best players in War League. I mean, what can be said? 11-1 in a 12-round tournament. I think the only 12-round tournament I ever was in that was 12 rounds in Swiss was probably the 100th YCS, which was Long Beach, California. That's crazy. Yeah, that's a grind, and that tournament was a grind. Luckily, I was X1 going to the last round of that tournament, so I kind of had the pressure off and made top 64 by a long shot, and then unfortunately got knocked out in top 32. But 12 rounds is a super long tournament. It might have only been 11, but 11 for Swiss is still long as well. Going down to the X2s, we have 10 Foot and John Wick. John Wick is a player that I've played with since I was younger, from way back in the day. And he is always regarded as one of the best Shonen Jump champs ever. He is a very, very good player. And I remember I had to play him and LeBounty. I had never beaten either one of them before, and I had to play both of them in the same tournament in a Rescue Rabbit format, in locals actually. And that was the first time I ever beat either of them, and I ended up beating both of them, and I ended up beating John Wick again in the finals, and there were mad people watching. It was crazy. It was a crazy Rescue Rabbit mirror match. I was like playing out of my mind back then, and to beat either one of them once was such an accomplishment for me. And that local, that was after I topped my YCSs and stuff, so I really felt confident and good as a player. And even after I topped Atlanta, I remember I played LeBounty. I'm completely digressing right now, but we're just telling stories, right? I played LeBounty one time at my local. It wasn't a local tournament. It was like some sort of event. It wasn't a regional. It was some sort of box tournament or case tournament or something. And I was like, all right, today's the day I beat LeBounty. I just topped Atlanta top 4. I'm like, all right, I walk in. I feel like all the eyes were on me. I was like, all right, time to like go to work, And I play LeBounty like round 3, and he sets up this dragon board, and I'm looking at it. I think I'm playing windups. I must have been. It was right after Atlanta, and I'm looking at the board, and I'm like, if I do this, then I still leave him with that, and the next turn he's gonna, I can't clear the board, because then he could still do this, and I'm thinking about it for like 3-4 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, I can't clear it. You got it, bro. And then that was it. And he goes, man, you could have just attacked over my car trooper for game. I'll never forget that. I hope he sees this next time I see him. I gotta tell him that, because that is the power of when a player is that good. You don't want to make any mistakes, and you're looking at so many things, you forget the obvious things that are right in front of you. Even after having come off a top 4 YCS appearance, I still made mistakes like that. That was a big dose of a big old slice of humble pie for your boy, and that still happens to me to this day. All we could do is practice and try to get better, right? So yeah, stories about John Wick and LeBounty, crazy. I digress, I'm sorry. 10 foot, everyone knows 10 foot, right? The best value turbo player. Really, really nice guy. And a friend of mine and a monster player. 10-2. Look at these performers, right? Cold Madness and Samu Pustino. I really haven't ever talked to these guys. I know they're both good players. 9-1 and 8-1. Those are both really, really good. But yeah, congrats to them. I wish I had more to say, and I would love to meet them or play against them. Mayberry, I played in week 7 or 8 when he was 7-0, and I was X1. And yeah, he beat me. I felt like I did every possible thing I could, but he finished 8-1, really nice. And yeah, congrats to all these top 8. I ended up coming in at 9th, 9-3. I'm very happy with that. I'm really unhappy with week 2 when I played the Machina deck, and my opponent really kind of gave me game 1, even though I felt like I was way behind. And then games 2 and 3, Game 3, I just felt like I had bottomless for like their Kalutes and Gales they were normal summoning, and I had too many Raikos. It was a mess, and I just was really unhappy that I lost that match. And then the second match I lost was against Mayberry, and I don't really have much regret against that. And then last week, obviously, I lost as well. So 9-3, I don't think that's anything to scoff at. I'm very happy with that. Out of, I think there's like 234 players. So we got 9th. So to me, this is like, I heard that it's top 16 of the individual players will be entered in some sort of tournament. I'm not exactly if it's for like an invite for Worlds or if it's for something else, but to me, I feel like, in terms of individual rating, this was kind of like its own tournament, and so I could, I'm very happy to say that I like topped War League, I guess. I feel like I needed another good showing, and I feel like this league really, it was a lot of fun to do this every week and to just make the content for you guys and get to know a lot of people and share how my season was going. And I always appreciate all the views and all the comments you guys leave. Been getting a lot of support lately, and it means a lot. Livid, good player. Fancy Diesel, good player. Bandai, not 100% sure who this is. 8-3, great record. Noob Sauce G7, I played week 1, ended up meeting him in Philadelphia YCS. Such a nice guy. Really happy we played, and that was a super close game as well. Came down to one dust tornado. Hydro Pump is Hydro Pump, right? An absolute monster. James Ark, another monster of the format. Just a monster in general, and also a friend of mine. Every time I see him in person, I always try to get a match in, and I never feel like it's enough. He's a really cool guy. In BC, I'm not 100% who BC is, but aside from like the 4 or 5 people up here that I don't mention, I mean, these are all, big names, right? Even like cutting close outside of the top 16, Indicud, Allison, Ghost Rider, Palmici, Giorgione, Becci ×2, Karina, like Cameron, yeah, China, 4-0's got up here in like top 30. That's pretty, or close to it. That's pretty crazy. So yeah, individually, congrats to all the players that did as well as they did, and I think this is a pretty elite class up here, and I'm happy to even be in this top 16. I'm really happy with how I played this season. Definitely some misplays, and kind of some like silly plays at some points, but we got away with it for the most part. And I think I harp on those small plays, like some are small, some are larger, but I really focus on those. But there's definitely an array of good play and good reads and me doing my homework. I am extremely happy with how I played, and I think I really showed up, and I'm proud of myself. I really am. So yeah, moving on to this. Wish us luck, Fuse. Best of luck to you guys. I think we're gonna be starting soon, and this may the best team win. And for everyone, all the teams who have made it into the playoffs, best of luck to all you guys. This is where the best of the best have to shine. I think these playoffs are gonna make for some very, very good matches. So if you guys haven't kept up with the regular season games, not my own, but any of them, I really think, yeah, we gotta be watching these, because this is gonna be pretty wild. This is gonna be, we see the best teams topped for a reason, and now we get to see the best of the best play against each other. This is the first ever Edison format War League, and I think everyone wants to come out on top. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.